Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the Gnome Train.
Woo! Chugga, 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 woo!
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
I'm Frazley, and I typically say that I have no fear when I do this. I mean, I may get nervous. Well, and I don't think I would really say I have no fear, but I had to find a way to fit this in, as I am joined by Fear of Morally Grave Podcast.
Yeah!
I'm so excited to have you on it.
Can't believe I'm on another show.
Yeah!
This is two for me, because I did Juno's show, and now I'm doing your show, so that's two shows.
We gotta get you on more. We gotta get you on Scruffy vs. the World. We gotta get you on Whispers of War.
You know, we all know how I speak. And to be honest, you know, that's not just for the show. That's kind of how I am. But obviously, you know, under family gatherings, I know how to, keep it under control. And I talked to Jen tonight before I came here to make sure. And I said, you know, I'm not going to be talking about crazy stuff on Frazley's show. I'm not going to go too nuts. I won't be perfect. I said, but I'm going to dial it back a little. And Jen said, yeah, dude, you need to dial it back just a little.
just a little, yeah.
And I was like, all right, dude. So
I've sworn here and there for comedic effect, but
right.
I sang I'm on a boat in Twitch Sings, and I have not said some of those words and phrases, I don't think ever. And I had everybody just laughing how I just said it so off the cuff. Oh
shit!
Which is why I tell people Frazley has kind of a little dark side and all that.
Hell yeah, you got to, man. You gotta have a little fun sometimes. Nothing's wrong with some jokes and some fun. I say a lot of crazy crap, and I don't, it's just jokes. It's Me and Jen both have been told we have a very juvenile humor, and we accept that. That's a fair statement. My wife tells me all the time. She goes, "It's like you're a 12-year-old boy." I don't.
And Telenroid is saying that don't let me scare you into being a Boy Scout. Now, if you're a Girl Scout, it's okay because I like the Girl Scout cookies, like the thin mints.
Oh, frozen too.
Oh, yes.
You know what it's about. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, you better ask somebody, man, because that shit is good.
Yeah,
for real.
I have started, whenever I get hounded by the Girl Scouts for donating, I'm like, okay, can you give it to the troops? That way they get fed, and right. I don't get it fed on my waist. Because I'm like, they're working hard in the military. They can burn off all those thin mints and stuff like that. And the Samoas, I mean, they can have all the good stuff. And it's less temptation for me. Because like yesterday at work, they forgot me on the lunch order. So I ordered a Red Robin, and I got a milkshake. It was delicious.
My God. Ooh.
Yeah.
I love a good milkshake, man. You can't. Oh.
And I have to say, I mean,
ice cream.
The Red Robin ones, they bring me to the yard and all that. And Red Robin always says that they're better than Yars and that they could teach me how to make milkshakes, but they'd have to charge. So on this episode, I've got some questions about your awesome bromance with Jen.
Okay.
And I think tonight's episode will be very fetch.
What does that mean?
Didn't you do Mean Girls on the How Have You Not Seen Them?
Oh, yeah, fetch. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, dude. Come on, man. You know me. I can't remember last Tuesday, man.
Okay. I had that in there because I was hoping when Jen was going to be in here, Jen would be like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Jen would have been all over that. I was with Mr. Alley. That was not my favorite movie.
Yeah. It's good. I think Clueless is better. And I think...
Yeah, I loved Clueless. And that was kind of my era too. And I don't know, dude, I'm an old fart, dude. It's, you know what I mean? I got an old era. And I love it. And I'm still stuck in it. I mean, a lot of the music I listen to is still from that era.
So before we get into the bromance and all that stuff, we have a thing that we have to do around here. So Epicinsanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. So what have you been up to recently?
Oh, wow, all the time. Anybody who's listening to our shit knows I'm a pretty lazy dude. So I got a pretty easy job. I work from home 4 days a week. I go into the office one day a week. It's not bad. But I am on a production and quality type standard, so it's like I can't be messing around when I'm working, but I do get to work from the comfort of my own home, and there's something to be said for that. I do lose a social aspect, though, because I'm always at home, but I get to spend a lot of time with my wife and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of WoW, a lot of classic WoW, and I've actually been getting back into raid on the Catalina wine mixer in retail. I believe Shoe Boots is running that group. I still haven't got all the voices down and all the names. We got like Capo in there and Shoe Boots and, Father Crane and shit, So, we got all these people in there, and it's a good time, dude. We're having a good time. And I get to raid with Jen again, which is a lot of fun for me.
I had Yama on the Converted podcast this past Monday, and he was talking about the Catalina wine mixer. So it was cool to hear all that stuff. And you've got a great group. I've been with you for one real raid, and then you all carried my butt through.
Oh, dude, I got carried on that one too, man. We were in that together. I mean, I had just joined on with him, and I was way behind. Like, my neck was way down there, dude. I wasn't even. I did stay alive to the end of that fight, though, so I was very proud of myself. But, dude, that was killer. We got our AOTC together, even though we got carried through it.
Yeah,
we still got AOTC together. I thought that was pretty cool.
And I think it must have been the rules, because I died on the second degree.
Right. Well, I got at least one chance to run through it and learn the mechanics at least once, and then they pulled you in, or maybe even twice. Maybe even we did it twice. I don't remember. And then they pulled you in, and then we got the kill. It was perfect, man. It was perfect. Oh, like, as soon as they pulled you in, just bam.
Because I think the group got done, and so I think some people did Warfront afterward. They went and did a heroic Warfront.
I believe so. I was high off that kill, dude. I was like,
oh yeah,
yes. And then I was like, I really didn't do anything to deserve this. It's like, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I told Raid, if you want to bench me, bench me. I don't want to pull the Raid down. I don't want to bring them down to my level, but.
Hell yeah, man. They were definitely doing the work, man. They were definitely putting in the work, dude. Holy shit.
So with 8.3, I take it you've gotten your cloak. You've been upgrading it.
I did get the cloak. I have not upgraded it yet, though. So I'm going to have to get in there this week and get that done. I'm also slated to do an Ani and an MC run on Saturday in Classic.
Oh.
So I'm very excited about both those things.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to do double duty here. And I don't know if I'm handling it very well. But I'm trying.
I know Capo, he's in like 3 or 4 raid teams.
I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know how these guys do it, like him and Dirty. This guy's got like every class, and they raid on different tunes. It's amazing to me because I can barely keep up with 1 or 2, and I'm getting older, so it's like I'll start to play and then I get sleepy. I want to go to bed.
It's like, I'm too old for this. I mean, I rated Molten Core in vanilla, and I was up till like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, I can't do that anymore.
Right. I do it sometimes, especially I've been playing a lot of Classic with Juno lately, and another Aussie that joined the guild, Lucina. Those two play a lot because, they're on the same time zone and everything. And sometimes on the weekends, I'll get in there late with them and we'll do a run and we all laugh and joke a lot. So it's a good time, and it's a good thing. I love it. I love playing and chatting with people and just having a good time.
And have you rolled any of the Allied races?
Originally, when I came back to WoW in BFA, I think my Warlock was the first thing I got up to 120, and then I got my Paladin up to 120, and I started raiding with Jin at 120, but the schedule wasn't working with my time frame, and it was like I was hopping back into something that just didn't work for my life at the time, and I had to say, okay, I can't do this. And I really wanted to play Horde. I've always liked Horde, but I've always played Alliance because that's where all my friends were playing. The people that got me into the game, that's where they were playing. So I always played with them. So I got a chance to go over to the Horde side. I did roll a Zandalori Troll Druid and leveled one of those up. And I was tanking Eternal Palace on that in normal.
Nice.
For a little bit for a team over there. A guy that does some streaming, a guy named Zista. Good dude. He runs a nice guild over there on Turlon. Yeah, he runs Silent Chaos over there. A lot of good people. It's always open and very flexible. It got hard with Classic to raid on Friday and Saturday night. That's why when Jen's like, hey, this is a 1 night a week thing. You know, it's Catalina Wyman. It's a 1 night a week thing. And I'm like, dude, you know what? We haven't raided together. And so I feel like we haven't raided together again. Yeah, I want to do that. It's like, let's do that shit.
It's a great way to build a bond with Jen, but also the other raiders.
Yeah, a great group of people in there, man.
Yeah.
Great group of folks, you know. And that's the one thing I've enjoyed about doing Morally Gray is I always try to put it out there to people that I am me, you know, DM me, whatever. You know, if you want to play sometime, if you see me playing and you want to fucking link up and do something, dude, hit me up. You want to chat? Well, I'll hop into chat. I don't care, dude. I'm good with all of that. It's like, let's do it. I'm a normal dude. I like to play the game. That's it. You know, it's a good time. So I always try to put it out there to people to, yeah, please hit me up. And I've met so many fun people, and, you know, like being able to do this raid with you guys and get that kill or this classic guild that I'm involved in has been so much fun for me, man. I've totally enjoyed it.
Anybody who's listening who is in awe of Fear, just know that Fear is like anybody else. He's on an awesome podcast and he does an awesome job, but he's open to DMs and IMs. Man. Yeah.
I'm a normal dude, man. Believe me, dude. Some of my family might they might be like, "You think this guy is so great? I got some stories to tell you."
Well, I mean, people build a relationship with you. I'm already seeing.
Oh, and I love that. I love that. Yeah.
And I remember when I started doing this show, I started talking with some big names, and I'm still getting over my starstruck. There's some names out there I'm still trying to get over.
Real, right?
Because you feel like, how would they ever want to connect with you? And you find out that they're normal people. And
exactly. You know, that's what's been so great about the community is everybody's been so cool, man. And it's like, I remember the first BlizzCon I went to, you know, me and Jen went to it, and we were standing in line in Starbucks, and we met Preach.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever because, and not to say, you know, I haven't watched every one of his videos or stuff, but I like the gruff with which he gives his video.
Yeah.
And the pure, you know, his rants and stuff. I love that type of stuff, you know, because to me, it denotes some sort of passion, you know?
Yeah.
And I dig that. And, you know, so to meet him was a big deal to me. And then just that vibe, it was cool. He was a fun guy to talk to, and he just laughed it up with us for a few minutes while we waited in line. It was great. You know, I love BlizzCon. It's so much fun.
That's how I felt meeting Shoe Boots. I met Shoe Boots while we were waiting in line.
Nice.
And he was just like as cool as like he is on the podcast and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is Shoe Boots. I'm talking with Shoe Boots. It was so much fun. And he even gave me some advice on this show. So it was cool. I was like, wait, you've heard of me? You've listened to me?
Well, and that's what's been cool too, is I know Jen's setting this stuff up. I mean, Jen's a tech fucking master. I mean, he's a smart guy when it comes to that stuff. And he is, he's an intelligent dude. And, you know, and I'm a caveman when it comes to this stuff for real. To be able to set this stuff up, you guys, I have mad respect for anybody doing this and setting all this stuff up. And that's why I'm always telling people, yo, man, thank that guy, because it's not me, dude. All I do is run my suck on the microphone. You know, that's it. You know, and Jen does all this stuff. You know, and I have mad respect for that dude, as well as the rest of the podcasters out there that do this and put time and effort into putting out content. But at the same time, I hope it's a labor of love, you know, of passion, and that they enjoy putting out that content. You know what I mean?
It feels like a kitchen sometimes, and I think I can relate to what you're saying because I played Overcooked 2 with Spaz.
Okay.
Spaz knows what he was doing in the game, and I'm just running around trying to I'm like trying to get these things right. So I mean, I know what you mean. It's sometimes you're sitting there like, how does he do all this stuff? And Spaz is like, yeah, go over here, do this, do this, do this. I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay.
Jen constantly. I mean, he explains stuff to me. He knows how to bring it down to my level, dude.
Yeah.
He knows how to break it down in a way that he knows I'm going to get it. And he does it well. He does it in a very good way.
You mentioned that you recently came back in BFA, but how did you get into gaming?
You know, when I was a kid, I had a father that didn't believe in having Nintendos and stuff like that. Funny enough, when I was younger, I did have an Atari at one point, and I wasn't real serious about it, played some games on it. But I think when I really wanted a system was when Nintendo came out. And I had a friend who had it, so I'd always go stay at his house and we'd play Mario. But I sucked. I'm a horrible gamer. I am not a good player. WoW has probably been the game I've been most successful at, and I'm not a great player at that at all. Eventually, I got a summer job. I think the first system I bought was a Super Nintendo. Played a lot of, Street Fighter or whatever on that. Then once I got into WoW, I think it was Neverwinter Nights, the one that really grabbed me. The original Neverwinter Nights, dude, because it gave me this character and I got to kind of run with it, live this little class fantasy of that character. And it was like, I really dug, and I figured out that I was big into, I didn't even know they were RPGs or whatever at the time. Back in the day, somebody say RTS to me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. I didn't speak the lingo. I didn't know, but those type of games I really dug. And so then I was like, okay, I started looking for other games like that. And I remember I had I don't remember if it was PlayStation 1 or something. There was like a version of Baldur's Gate where you could play like a dwarf or something. And I dug that. And then I had a friend at my work, before we were allowed to work from home and all this stuff. He was telling me about this game, WoW, and he's telling me about World of Warcraft, and I don't really get it. And he's saying, well, you get to develop your character and all this. And the things he's saying are exciting me. I'm like, dude, that sounds cool. That's the type of game I like. And I don't like a lot of games. I hate RTSs. I've played Call of Duty and stuff like that, but never anything seriously. But I like a lot of Blizzard games. It's weird. I guess I'm a little fanboy. He explained it. And he said, well, you got to decide whether you want to be a tank. And I'm like, I thought it was a fantasy game. What, tanks are in the game? I don't get it. I really didn't get it, man.
Yeah.
And so he started to explain it to me and I started playing. I don't know, dude. It just stuck. I love it. I can't explain it. Sometimes I sit here and I go, I don't know why I waste my time playing this game. I think I like more the social interactions because maybe I don't leave the house a lot or because I work from home. But I think I like just talking crap and just BSing with people and making jokes. I don't like to offend people or anything, but I make a lot of crazy jokes and it's just to be funny or to make somebody laugh or to have a good time. It's never to upset anybody or whatever. But people get butthurt sometimes, shit happens.
Oh yeah. Not everyone's going to like it, like us, but the ones who like you truly love you. I mean,
and that's amazing to me. And dude, I don't understand it, man. I really don't. And it feels weird to me, if people dig it though, they dig it. And I love that. And, like I said, anytime you want to talk to me or whatever, hop on Discord, man. I'm usually playing the game or lurking around there somewhere. Just, give me a message. I don't care. I'll set up time. But I just set up time with one of our listeners to talk about the city of Reno. He wanted to know more about Reno. So shit, I talked to him for like an hour about Reno. I don't care. It's whatever. If I've got time, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't have time. It's not a big deal. It's all good.
So I want to talk about I like calling it the bromance between you and Jen.
Right.
That friendship where you feel so
He
close.
hates when I get gushy. He hates it. But.
Oh, good. Okay, so we can get payback for him not being here tonight. So.
Right. All right. So, yeah, I don't mind. I'm an old dude. I don't mind talking about my feelings. I don't give a shit.
How did Jen and you become friends?
The guy who got me into the game, the guy I work with, he got me into the game. I started playing it, and then I finally understood what I wanted to tank at the time. I wanted to be a paladin. I finally rolled the character I would eventually cap as my first capped character, and that was in Cataclysm. So I leveled in there all the way to 85, get to 85. The person who runs the guild on RTS, the classic guild, I was playing with her and the guy from work, a guy named Esro, who got me into the game. I get to 85 and they say, okay, yeah, you got to do all these other quests, these daily quests. And I said, nah, screw that. I ain't doing all that bullshit. I'm tired of questing. I thought we was going to raid. That was my attitude. I thought you get to 85, you raid, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And I was mistaken. So I just stopped playing it, and I had other stuff, personal stuff going on. And then I came back when Mist of Pandaria came out. So I came back, I had my paladin, I leveled it up. I understood the game better. I started watching videos, reading Wowhead, Icy Veins, and all that stuff, trying to understand what was going on. I was really lackluster about that. I was really bad about it. Let's say I had a bit of an ego on me and I thought I knew what I was doing, but really I had no clue, like ridiculously no clue. But I had tanked a bunch of dungeons, worked my way up kind of type thing. And then my buddy Esro says, hey, I'm going to find us a guild to raid with. And so he finds this guild that Jin is an officer in. And Jin is the tank at the time because they didn't have a tank. Jin normally likes to Fury DPS, right?
I'm a gnome.
But he was the tank at the time. They didn't have another tank. Tanks are hard to come by sometimes. So I said, yeah, I'll do that. I got that. Big ego. I got that. No problem. My buddy Esro set it up. So Jin asked me, he says, he whispers me in game. He says, I hear you think you like to tank. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I can tank whatever you want. And he said, all right. So first raid, Mogashan Vaults. We step into that bad boy. Great group of people, man. We had a great group of people. We were on Kirin Tor. Very small, not a lot of people, but they were a nice bunch of people. I kind of cut my teeth there raiding with Jin, and Jin screaming at me constantly about me not taunting or, whatever thing I was screwing up at the time. Rightly so by him. Jin is a phenomenal player. Yeah, dude, one of you are probably going to tell me to spit his weenie out my mouth here in a minute, dude, because I love this dude, man. I seriously do. So Mogashan Vaults, we're raiding. I'm learning. Jin knew coming in that I was a fish at this, I was new to it. He knew it, but at the end of that 6-man raid, we got to that Emperor dude that had all the mechanics where you had the 2 stone guys, you had the tank and all the shit coming out. And I was screwing it up every single time. Wipe. And people are starting to look at me now. And they're starting to go, look, dude, what's the deal? What's the problem? So that night, Jin kind of took me aside, talked to me. We started looking at the class. We looked at abilities. We stayed up to like 1 or 2 in the morning, talking all this stuff, setting up my UI, understanding debuffs and buffs. And he just took this time to tell me all this shit. He didn't have to do that. He could have just said, you're a scrub piece of shit. You don't know what you're doing. Get the hell out of here. But he took the time to explain it to me. And I maybe realized that maybe my head was a little too fat and maybe I needed to shut the hell up and listen to somebody for a change and learn something. So I did that. We just developed this bond tanking all these raids together. And that's what we did. All through MOP. We tanked all the raids, all the way through Gary, and there was a time there that I left because once again, my head got a little big, but Jin never took that shit personally. And he knew it wasn't personal, me leaving or go. He knew, he's like, it's your sub, man. Do what you feel you gots to do. It's no big deal. He never got mad at me or had this attitude like some people do. He just never had that with me. And we always got along and we always understood each other. One year he said, dude, I'm going to BlizzCon. And I said, well, what's that? And he explained. Over time, I've learned to love all these games, that Blizzard has done. And I'm total Blizzard fanboy, man, all the way. The next year, I said, dude, I want to go with. And so we set up this deal. We figured it out that he lives near Sacramento. I live near Reno. We're 3 hours away from each other. So I drove out there. We piled in the car and just did a road trip, man. We had developed a friendship from tanking, but getting in the car, comparing stand-up and realizing both of our, we kind of knew we both had a love for stand-up beforehand, but getting in the car and just listening to nothing but stand-up, I don't know anybody, nobody else does that with me. Like my wife will listen to some stand-up, but it's like, she ain't going to listen to it for 8 hours in the car. She don't want to hear it for 8 hours. She's going to want to hear some of her shit. And sometimes me and Jin clash on some of the music and stuff, but we just listened to stand up all the way down there and we were just laughing our balls off all the way there. And it was fantastic, man. You build that bond like that. We've gone to a few BlizzCons together and obviously it's grown from that and then doing the show. And clearly him asking me to come do it with him was like, really? You want me to come do this with you? And it's like, fucking thank you, man. That's cool. He gives me an outlet. I get to say stupid shit and it's fun and I enjoy it. It's a creative outlet for me.
Yeah. You have done an amazing job with that.
I don't know about that, dude.
What would you say is one special strength in Jin that you think he doesn't give himself enough credit for?
One of the things that I love about him is that Jin's a very self-aware dude. He knows what he can do. He knows what he can't do. He's not overly egotistical about it or anything. He's very self-aware of what his abilities are. He seems to always land. He knows where he's at. That's rare in people sometimes. He's one of those people that I can sit there and I can be real with him no matter what. No matter what I got to say or anything else, he's going to listen to me. He might have some criticism. He might have a different opinion. And at the end of the day, we might just say, well, you know what? We don't agree, and that's cool. You know, we're not going to hate each other over it. You know, I'm not going to hate anybody over having a different opinion.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter what it is, religion, politics, I don't care. You know, if you have a different opinion, hey, that's what makes the world go round. That's what makes me happy. If we were all the same, I think that shit would suck.
Oh, yeah. Right. I learn from people that are different from me because then I learn their perspective. I feel in the past couple of years, I've grown my perspective in so many ways because of people differing with my opinion.
One of the dudes from Wu-Tang Clan once said, "Still sharpens steel, man." And when it comes to, I don't know, just talking trash to each other or trying to make each other laugh or trying to one-up one another, it's just that type of connection that him and I have, that we're able to just have that banter. Because believe me, dude, when it's off the mics and it's off the camera, oh my God, dude, it can be much worse than you can even imagine.
Wow.
It can get raw and rude and mean, and neither one of us ever takes it personally. And it's always like, who can out-top the joke and who can make the next one laugh by saying the most ridiculous shit. And we'll do it, man. We'll sit there in the car and do it. I love the banter with him. And tanking, man, we were ruthless with each other and it'd make people laugh. And I don't know if that was maybe his first iteration that something like this would be cool. You know, Jin told me from the beginning, he's your 50-50 in this. But really, man, dude, this guy does all the fucking work. He came up with the idea. He reads the books. He does the show notes. He explains all this tech shit to me, which is a job all on its own. And he gives me a creative outlet. And what do I got to do? I got to show up one night a week, plug in a damn microphone and a camera, and run my mouth about what he's talking about, dude. That's all I have to do. And I get this creative outlet. And I tell him all the time, I said, dude, I love you in the most hetero way possible. I love you to death, dude. And he knows it. He knows it. And he hates when I get gushy, but he knows it.
This is why I love that the Greeks had so many words for love. We always think of love in that romantic love.
Right.
Someone asked me recently, is there anybody that I'm romantically in love with? I said, not really. But I have so many people that I'm like, my love for them as a friend pushes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, you know, the times we've had at BlizzCon, the times we've had, I mean, it became a thing where we went every year and we'd have like 4 of us. It became like a 4 of us thing where we were all road tripping down and stuff. I can't wait to go back again next year. I hated that I missed this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's killing me because it seemed like it was one of the best BlizzCons ever. And you guys all got to meet each other and shit. And I'm like, shit, I wasn't there, you know? And it's like, oh. So I'm really stoked for next year. I can't wait.
And this was the year that I didn't think I was going to be there. And I was there. Yeah. So I'm tentatively working now to make sure that I have the funds for this year. I will be there. I will be there. And I will be there the year after that. And the year I'm back, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. As long as this shit goes on, man, you know, as long as this happens, I'm here for it, you know? So you're here and Jen's not here. What is one of the funniest things that Jen has done that he wishes no one would ever know about?
I believe he's already spilled the beans on this. It had to do with the Wrath of the Lich King. I'm pretty sure, dude, that is the most remorse I've ever seen that dude really, like really have a real pain in his side about it. Like, damn, man, like, because he screwed that group out of their kill. And I mean, he didn't do it. Look, man, I'm all about intentions, man. I'm all about people's intentions because I know sometimes people say something, and I know a million times before I've said stuff that's offended people, and it's like I didn't intend to offend. It's not like I'm trying to offend somebody by something I'm saying, and I don't, you know, I don't think Jen intended, and that's what I told him. I said, look, dude, you didn't intend to take those people's kill, but he still, man, he feels really bad about it, and I think it's pretty funny because I start ribbing him about it. I'm like, yeah, you are kind of a piece of shit, you know. So just start giving him a hard time about it, you know.
See, stuff like this is why Ali said that they love your back and forth. I mean, just
Dude, I love it. I mean, that's what we do. And I told him one day, I said, dude, the only thing I'm doing is trying to make you laugh, dude. I said, that's the only thing I'm doing. I said, I'm just trying to make you, and he goes, that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to make you laugh. And we're just trying to make each other laugh. And some of our idols are the same in that. And so we kind of cross paths there. You know, we have a difference, but we cross a path there. And I love it, man. I wouldn't trade it. And, you know, whether people were listening or not, we decided from the beginning that we were doing this thing. We didn't give a shit, you know, regardless. So we were going to do it, whether one person listened or 10 people or whatever. And now it's this is, you know, there's a Discord community and I got people saying hi and it's just like, I can't believe it. And the people have been fucking amazing.
Dark Iris is in chat and they said that Jen and you have made them laugh out loud at the office, that people are concerned for them.
Dude, that makes me happy because I don't know how many times I've been at the office in that little cubicle in that rat box, you know, where you're grinding out the production.
Yeah.
And I'll be listening to stand-up comedy and I'll start laughing to the point where I got tears in my eyes and I got people looking at me like I got 9 dicks growing out of my head, dude. You know, they're looking at me like I'm from another planet and I'm just giggling myself to death. So when people say that, the fact that something I'm saying or something that me and Jen are saying together or something that we're doing is bringing that to somebody. If I make somebody laugh or I make their commute better, that's amazing. I can't believe that I'm doing that. Like it's humbling.
And Jen said, LOL, not 8 dicks, 9. Is that where you would say, oh, fuck yeah?
Dude, Jen pushes that button a lot. That has become a morally gray sounder, man, like heavily.
So for anyone here who doesn't know, I was on an episode of the bonus podcast for the Morally Gray podcast or Patreon, and it was about Halloween. And I just said that phrase I just said, I out of the blue, and now it's become a part of the Morally Gray podcast. Like, I will every once in a while, like, say a curse here or there just for like effect, but
right. I mean, honestly, you know, I grew up in a household where my old man, he was born in Texas in like 1942. I think the story goes, you know, and there's been different versions and different family members, but from a certain age, he was in an orphanage, you know, so it's not like he led an easy life. You know, anything my father's ever put me through, I forgive him, you know, 100%, you know. Yeah, I mean, he laid hands on me a lot when I was younger. It's like he didn't know any better way to discipline me, you know, because the way he saw it is, at least I care about you enough to discipline you. But, you know, physical abuse, mental abuse, stuff like that is hard to handle. But at the same time, you know, growing up, being a dad myself, I realize I've made mistakes too. But, you know, my old man was always, he spoke a lot like I do. A lot of the things I say are sayings I learned from him. It's bizarre. And coming soon, and probably to make me get off my ass and get this done. But my dad's 77 now. He drew me a picture for my dad's he's an amazing artist. When he was younger, he's got a lot of arthritis now. It's hard for him, but I was able to spend a lot of time with him, and he drew a picture for the show.
Wow.
It says Morally Gray on it, a little Viking style dwarf with a bottle of Captain Kirkland. And, you know, he spent some time with me talking and you know, he doesn't even know what a dwarf is. You know, he's like, what are you talking about? You know, he's an old dude, man. It was a special moment for me because I got a lot of time to hang out with my old man, and, you know, he's getting older. He's losing memories and stuff. And it was a good time for me to get that time with him and spend that time with him. And now I got the image. I just got to get it scanned in somewhere. I got another person who's going to do some work on it in the digital world there. And we're probably going to put it out on a t-shirt, you know, at least something to wear to BlizzCon. And we're getting there. And that's something I'm excited, just because, you know, it's something my dad did. And I love that. And I love that he really took the time to listen to what I was doing with Jen, to hear it out and to understand it enough to make a picture. But yeah, you know, Jen's been phenomenal. That dude is my brother as far as I'm concerned, you know.
What has it been like being part of the Morally Gray podcast?
And this is where Jen hates when I get gushy like this, because I tell him, I said, you don't understand what this means to me. You know, you don't understand what this gives me, you know, an ability to sit in my home, you know, just crack jokes. And the fact that people are enjoying that, it's like the cherry on top. like I said, it's humbling. It's amazing to me. I want to say thank you all the time to everyone, and I feel bad sometimes because I'm not real active on social media and a lot of that stuff. I avoid it because I kind of don't like it, but I avoid it and stuff. And, I try to get back to people in Discord and stuff. And that's why I always tell people, just hit me up with a private message in Discord, man. Cause that way I'll see that, because sometimes I'll see a message, like I'll be playing WoW and I'll see a message flash, and this is how fucking dumb I am. I'll see that message flash across my screen. I'll go to Discord and I'll be like, where'd that message go? Like, I have no idea where it came from, where it went. But if I get a message to me directly, then, okay, it's easy for me, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm, like I'm not responding or whatever. I want people to know that I'm happy to respond. I have so much appreciation to anybody that gives a crap enough to even listen to us, but sit here and banter about this stuff, This ride has been so amazing. Dude, I can't thank people enough. I really can't. I can't thank Jen enough. I can't thank, you, Allie. I mean, you guys have just really welcomed us, man, and it's been amazing.
I'm all about community, and the fact that your show has created community, I love that. People that are connecting, and I love when people are enjoying that stuff, and that's why I can't believe it's been 1 year that you've done this.
It doesn't feel like it at all to me. And, going into this, the one thing Jen and I both said to each other is, we're not going to miss any episodes, man. We're going to be consistent on this. There's certain things that me and him do not see eye to eye on, but when it comes to this shit, we see eye to eye. I'm going to give more leeway to Jen creatively because it was his idea. It was his concept and everything. Me and Jen don't ruffle each other's feathers. It just doesn't happen. It's simple. We crack jokes to each other. We have a good time anytime we're around each other. We've gone to see Tom Segura before in Reno. We brought our wives together. Our wives think we're just both a couple of big ass dorks. They don't understand us. They think we're morons with the game stuff. And they love us. They support us. They support what we're doing. Even Jen's wife has a Mrs. Jen on there,
Yeah, I saw that.
Every time I do a show, my wife tells me good luck. They're always there, and my wife's like, I know it's cliche. She's my best friend, man. I spend every day with her. She's here every day that I work. I talk to her every day. She's the most important person in my life. Doing this has been such a creative outlet, and to have that gift, given to me by Jen, by the public that supports us, I can't say thank you enough.
Do you read quest text now?
No.
Okay, so that doesn't change.
I try to follow the story more. Like, I don't just like spacebar through the cutscenes and shit anymore. And especially when I see something that I recognize from something that Jen told me, I almost get ridiculously excited about it. When I was trying to get flying in BFA and I was doing the Nazjatar area, you run that little scenario where it shows her, the city getting destroyed and her talking to Inzoth and drowning, in the water and all that. I was like, dude, Jen talked to me about this. I totally know this. I was so pumped about it, dude, that I knew what was going on, because half the time I never cared. I was like, eye level, what times raid, what consumables do I need? This was my concern. I never understood the lore, because every time I had heard anything about the lore, it was always in the middle. It was always something, they're going to talk about somebody, and I hear about it and I'm like, I'm trying to listen to it. I'm trying to get into it, but I have no frame of reference. I'm like, okay, this dude did this. Okay, great. I don't care. It wasn't until Jen said, you know what? Screw this. He goes, I'm going from the birth, the light and the void, the very beginning. He goes, we're going to break this down for you. And that's his whole concept. And it's a beautiful one. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's from the day he told me that idea, I was like, dude, that's the best idea I've ever heard, man. That shit's awesome.
And it really brings, again, that friendship, because you're learning, but you also get you're real with Jen as you're learning. I mean, because right now Chad is just about like how they love you and they love hearing you and Jen.
I love that people love that. He'll tell me what the downloads are for the month or whatever. I'll be like, nuh-uh. Like, really? Like, that many people want to hear this? Like, I don't get. I didn't realize there were that many people out that thought that type of humor was funny, and I know it's crude, and I don't know, maybe that's what people like sometimes, I guess. There's a place for it, maybe.
Not everyone's going to like the crude humor, but the ones who love really great, they absolutely love it. And I mean, as soon as that shirt comes out, people are going to rush in and get, I want to buy one of those shirts. So, I mean, let me know the second's available.
Hey man, as soon as they are, it will be fully announced. I'm going to buy several of them, pass them out to family. My dad said he wants one, so I'm definitely buying him one. And we're hoping that we can work it out to where there's some sort of connection with Patreon. Maybe, there can be a discount or something like that. We can do something like that, just like the game giveaway, stuff like that. We want to do stuff like that. We want to give back.
I've been selling stuff through Streamlabs. Recently, I've given away a hoodie. I've given away a shirt, and today I give away a coffee mug.
Right on,
and it's fun. It's like,
hell yeah,
because it's like people are excited for it. But I love seeing people like Spaz got one of the B shirts, and then Sirius, his wife, took the shirt. So it was like
to be able to give away copies of the game that we talk about, or stuff like that is. To have somebody say, dude, I won the copy. Thank you. Or whatever, that makes me happy. It makes me happy that we can give something back, that people even support the show monetarily it's too mind blowing for me. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's humbling, man. It's humbling in a way that I can't even, I feel like I don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I can empathize with you 100% there. And I can't believe I'm about to say this. Caffel just gave you the best idea. It may not pleasure the guys. I don't think guys do this. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know stuff. But Caffel wants a double-headed, morally gray dildo where the heads of Jin and Fear are the tips.
Dude. I can't wait to tell my wife that. Oh my God, dude. Oh, I'm sad Jen missed that. Holy shit. Oh, I wish Jen could have heard that, dude.
Oh, if he listens to the episode, he'll hear it.
Oh, I can't wait for him to hear that. Oh my God, he's going to laugh himself silly. Oh. Dude, thank you for that. That is so funny.
That's Capo. Capo,
dude, you're killing me, bro. We're going to get Frazley in trouble here, folks.
I know.
I was so worried about going over the top tonight. I didn't want to unleash the beast. I thought Jen was going to be here to keep the reins pulled in on me,
It's Capo's fault. It's Capo's fault. I was just repeating what Capo was saying. So I say we are all losing our sanity in 8.3. So I decided I'm going to ask the community.
Okay.
What is your most gibberish phrase? Put a call on Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and Facebook, and chat can add in if they have any gibberish phrases.
Telenroid. Probably my greeting. Hello, peoples. And goodbye. Later, taters.
And then Valicia said, anything that comes out of my mouth is gibberish. I think that Vel doesn't give themselves enough credit. They are smarter than they think. And then this next one's from Character Craft.
Oi, Mara, Mara. Oi, ya, Amar. Oer, Mara. Boy, I would have to read that one a couple of times to do it well, I think.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Rig here from Character Craft Podcast. At the behest of Frazley, I've been requested to explain my actions in the tweet I sent him with regards to what is the most gibberish saying or thing that we can come up with. My example was a local saying that we say to confuse the hell out of people who aren't from the same area as myself. So basically the saying goes, Oi Mara, Ia Mara, Hoya Ama over Ya Mara, which basically means, plain simple English terms, hello mate, oi mate, can you throw your hammer over here, mate? Hope you get it, guys. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Cheers.
That is great. I love that.
Oh my God, dude, he says it so smooth too, man. He just rolls through that like it's no big deal. Dang, that's crazy. In the military, Marines have kind of their own nonsensical language that's just a bunch of grunts. Do stuff like that. Or if you walk by somebody, they'll kind of nod it and you can go, hoorah! And like just people grunting at each other and stuff.
Does any of it have any signals and stuff like that?
I mean, there's a whole language that goes along with, being in the military. But at some point, the yuts and it's just like a motivational thing. It's just like yelling. Yeah,
okay.
It's just like, you're like, you're just grunting at each other, basically. It's just, and it's a form of hello or stay motivated or keep going or whatever. It has, depending on the situation, it might have a different connotation.
And Capo says you'll get banned from Twitch if you read mine, so I'll take a pass on this one. No, like. Probably a smart thing. I mean, he got me to say dildos earlier, so I think it's probably good I
did. And you just said it again. Those have been coming out of your mouth all night, Fraz. What's going on?
Yeah. And Dark Iris says most gibberish I've heard is for the Alliance, and now they're giggling. And I've been known to do gibberish phrases. I've not done as much gibberish on my podcasts and stuff, but I did do gibberish. Like I had a short film where I did like crank the cow into the roof, but I've got a song on iTunes that I will play a small snippet of. That's I've got TVs in my brain. I've got TVs in my brain. And that goes on and on like that so I spared us.
I don't know. We sit there on the show a lot. We're always trying to think of nicknames for characters and different language for this stuff. Like, I think sometimes, like, for some people, it's a little, it's almost like damning. It's like, don't mess with our stuff here. But at the same time, we like to try to find a funny way or a fun way of thinking about it, or it helps me remember this stuff to think about it in that way, and it's fun, it's fun to sit there and try to make each other laugh like that, by saying, weird names or whatever we can come up with on the spot.
I found there's this book about memory techniques, and the only one that ever worked for me was doing the weird things with, and it's right. When you make things weird in your head and funny, you remember it longer.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes I think the stories I remember better are the ones I relate to more, or that I'm more involved in. Like, I feel like the Rise of the Horde, I just feel like I've been so passionate about that side of the story. Like, I can't explain why I wasn't more passionate about the Night Elf bit, and I get that Illidan's a huge character. And funny enough, one of my favorite cutscenes in the game of all time.
Illidan, from birth, the light in your eyes held such promise for the future.
I sacrificed that birthright long ago.
Do you not wish to reclaim what was lost? To be whole again?
The Legion's end is all I seek.
My child, you've given so much for so little. Your true potential, your redemption, lies before you. Let go of your shattered form and embrace the light's power.
I've traded my freedom for power before.
The prophecy must be fulfilled. Your old life has passed. The light will forge you a new one.
It is not yours to take.
The light will heal your scars.
I am my scars.
The light is your destiny.
My destiny is my own.
And I love that.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite clips, and I love Illidan there. I just really hated the way he was portrayed in that story. And obviously this guy, he has a major progression over time that I'm going to learn about. But yeah, like that clip I think is awesome, because he's He's like, dude, don't change me. You know, I am who I am because of all the crap I've went through. And I'm a firm believer in that. I don't ever believe in going back and changing things. It's a waste of time. You know, you are who you are because of all the stuff, all the laughs, all the tears, all the bullshit you've been through. That's what makes you who you are. You know?
Yeah. We were talking about which of the covenants we want to go with. And I keep saying,
yes,
Bastion really scares me because the light's been about, you must become us in the way we want it. I'm like,
right.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
You must be perfect. You must be all pristine. We're not perfect. We're not pristine.
Nope.
That's why I think I'm going to go with the vampires. I'm kind of
I was talking to Jen, and I don't know. I might go with the other dark looking one. But most people that have listened to the show know I'm into like a lot of death metal and a lot of bizarre. I mean, it's so bizarre because like people talk about Jen's musical taste being kind of eclectic, and you know, I listen to like Cannibal Corpse and a lot of bizarre stuff. But at the same time, like the other day, you know, I was listening to Wu-Tang Clan. You know, I like old stuff. You know,
yeah.
It's just I like that old style. That type of art really appeals to me. I love art in general, dude. Any way that people want to put that out there, you know, a lot of my kids have very artistic sides to them. And I love seeing the way that they develop that and grow that. And I always want them to grow it in the direction that they want to grow it in. I never want to tell them how to do that or how to live their lives. You know, in that sense, I want to be supportive of that because I always felt like I did a lot of things in my life because of what other people wanted me to do instead of, you know, following something that I wanted to do. And, you know, obviously with time and age and stuff, I realized that was maybe a mistake on my part. And I don't want my kids to ever feel that way. You know, I want them to follow their art. You know, if they want to paint, if they want to do comedy, if they want to do YouTube videos, if they want to, you know, whatever it is, you know, everybody has a way of expressing themselves, a way of doing some type of art. If that's what they're into, you know, if that's what you're about, if you're that type of personality or whatever, you know. Yeah. But I really respect that, man. I really respect people doing their own thing and really just putting it out there, man. And if that's what you like, cool. And I'm not even saying, you know, I may not even like it, you know, and if I don't like it, it's no hate to anybody. It's just, you know, you do your thing, you know, I don't expect everybody to like what we're doing. And if they don't, I got no problem with that, man. I could still sit down and eat a steak with you and break bread with you and have a conversation with you. It doesn't matter, you know, or maybe you don't want to, you know? Yeah, because you don't like the show. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's a choice, you know, it's a choice to listen to it. And I just can't believe there's as many people listening to it as there are. And I love that, man. And like I said, it's too much, man. It's so amazing to me. It's humbling. It really is.
Hopefully tonight you've been able to hear from people that have really said that they love it. Cause I mean, chat's just been rolling with people showing love to you. And I love that.
It's so amazing to me, man. It's so amazing to me. And you know, that people like you know, you guys are obviously a staple in this community. You know, you've been here for a while and you know, people like you and Allie and the whole community, man, it has just been so amazing, man. It's just so cool. And it's like any of you guys that I meet at BlizzCon, I can't wait. I just can't, you know, I can't express enough thank you. And I can't wait to meet people too. You know, it's like, dude, let's hang out. You know, that's one of the things Jen said to me after our first BlizzCon. He goes, what is it with you? He goes, you can just talk to people about eating pizza or whatever the hell's on your mind. And he's like, I don't understand, or like, what's with you in that? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's whatever, you know, I don't care. I'll just say it. If somebody's standing next to me, I'll just tap them and be like, dude, it's time to get some pizza up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this is who I am, you know? Just want to have a good time.
I never listened to Stranger Danger as a kid. I am actually surprised I never got kidnapped because I would talk to strangers. And I mean, I still remember it was one time at Disneyland. We were staying there after a hurricane, and we were staying at the big Continental Contemporary Resort. Yeah. And we were in this big room all on these different sleeping bags. Well, I get up because I'm hungry. So I go into the main hall, and I'm asking this like 40-year-old man, I mean, can you help me make oatmeal? Yeah. And I'm thinking, even at Disney World, that was probably not a smart idea, but you know, I love people.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. And as Dark Hero says, friends we haven't met yet. That's what everybody is.
Right.
I mean,
you know, going to BlizzCons, even before the show, you know, we met up with people that we've raided with before. we, broke bread with them and hung out with them. And it's like, that's pretty cool to be able to do that and meet these people in real life and have a conversation with them and have a drink or have a meal and be able to talk about other stuff or whatever, or talk about the game or just, get to know one of us. It's a nice deal, man. And it's been amazing, dude.
And I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight's been amazing.
Anytime, dude. It's like, I'm honored. It's like that somebody would have me. I was telling my wife, I'm like, other people want to talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with that? And she's like, I don't know what's up with that. Dude, me and my wife rib each other all the time, dude. It's constant. She keeps me sharp, dude.
We were going to have Jen on tonight as well, but someone came down with the sickness. So not Jen, but Jen's going in. And Jen,
right. Yeah. Jen's got to work.
Yeah.
The eternal worker, baby.
He was the Good Samaritan. He jumped in faster than a punch in the face by Anduin.
Dude, he does, man. Dude, this guy, I'm telling you, man, Jen works his ass off, dude. Like, this dude is a working fool, man. Like, he never looks at me and says, hey, stupid, you're not doing anything. He never has that attitude. He's just kind of like, hey, dude, as long as you show up, you do what you're supposed to do. We're good, baby. I always thank him first, for putting this together. It was his plan. It was his idea. And the fact that we had that bond tanking and all that. It's been an awesome way to be able to just sit there and jab each other and have people enjoy it. It's so amazing to me. And Jen tells a hell of a story, man. He really does. He brings it together and he explains it in a way that, dude, if I can understand it, hey, then I know other people are getting it, dude. And they're probably getting it with no problem, because if I'm struggling, then people are getting A's, dude. I know it.
And I love that it's a show that'll be timeless. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to more episodes because I'm somewhere in the timeline of Morley Gray, but I love it when I listen to it. And I still love the slicing the planets in half. That was just so cool. I was like, Sargeras, what a bad dude. I love it.
It's such a crazy story, man. Yeah. I can't believe I never got into it before. The fact that Jen's able to bring it to me in a way that I'm pumped for it.
Yeah.
Every week I'm like, dude, I can't wait to talk about this shit and hear what's going to happen. And it's genuine. I genuinely want to know. I'm genuinely excited about it. Dude, Jen has vision. He's the fucking guru. It's been such an amazing ride. My wife has always got my back. She's like, baby, if that's what you want to do, then I got your back. She goes, I don't understand that shit and what you nerds are talking about, but I got your back.
People can find the podcast at
Morally Gray Pod. Everything's under Morally Gray Pod. Facebook.
And it's even at morallygraypod.com. And it's Grey, not Gray. I always get those.
Yes. I always wondered that. We were throwing names back and forth. I had wrote down like hammered Warcraft history and just all this weird crap, dude, that I had come up with. And Jen said, you know what? I think we should call the show Morally Gray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, fucking like the sound of that. I don't know why I like the sound of that. And maybe it's because of the way my own personal philosophy is about the world or whatever it is. I don't look at things in black and white. There's a lot of fucking gray out there. Even though I'm human and I do it, I'm trying not to judge people and what they think or what they believe. I try to leave that shit to them and leave my shit to me. Just accept that we all have different opinions and different points of view and different standpoints, and we're all coming from a different place. And that's what gives it flavor, And me and Jen are two entirely, dude, we come from entirely different worlds. We got a 10-year age gap, but man, we're tight. We're good friends. I don't know why, man, but that dude, for some reason, I've always clicked with him, and we've always known how to discuss or communicate for some reason. And it just works for us, man. I don't know. He's just my boy, dude.
Activating customized Orca-safe transporter.
Well, I am back at my home of Ironforge until we one day reclaim Gnomergon.
I'm a gnome.
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome. Let's do that. So I love podcasting and I love supporting new people who enter this world. It's a community. I was talking with Fear in the post show, and it's not a walled garden. There's always room for new voices. Today we have 3 new podcasts to talk about that I noticed this past week. Rig and Cuffy, who I've been talking with in Twitch chat during my streams, have launched the Character Craft podcast. The description is Rig and Cuffy diving headlong into the trials and tribulations of the characters that make up World of Warcraft on a weekly basis. And then those meddling Azerothians, they've launched a podcast, literally called Those Meddling Azerothians. Their description is giving you info on the new mountains in the game and the game of World of Warcraft. Whether you are a new, veteran, or returning player, listen and join in on the fun. And finally, the podcast Pets of Azeroth has launched. It is a podcast about pet battles and the pets of Azeroth. And a podcast that's been steadily bringing StarCraft coverage is The Pylon Show. So our friend Alessandra, they help out with that show, and they had 2 former Blizzard developers come on to talk about insight into how Blizzard thinks in episode 78. It's always cool hearing from someone who is on the inside. And then I mentioned a while back that Zomperdy of Reddit was working on an upscaled version of Diablo 2. Well, ICBank reports that there is now a demo of it playable in your browser. How devilishly cool. And ICBank also reports on another Redditor, Anna Richter, who has turned the Tier 1 raid sets into gorgeous art designs. And then Ben Grandblade on Twitter was adding googly eyes to people's avatars who submitted them. Well, I submitted Frazley, and the results were hilariously awesome. There was a thread of all the eyes. I think you will like these. Sorry, I know, the eye puns did not stop with the last episode. And if we don't get out of 8.3 soon, there may be more coming. And speaking of Nihilo, the Race for World First is starting this week, and DBM and Complexity Limit have partnered. DBM will be the exclusive Raid Boss add-on for the Race for World First, and Complexity Limit will be supplying DBM with data and feedback to help make the add-on better. And then Wowhead has a roundup of their picks of some of the best add-ons to help with 8.3 content, from handy notes to DBM and more. There is a way to add some vision to your progress to 8.3. Yes, that was another pun. And in a move that is kind of surprising, Blizzard has announced that going forward, their esports will be streamed exclusively through YouTube. This will definitely cause some people to twitch away from another popular streaming platform. Some may even end their mixers. I wanted to share this story with you, as esports is a huge part of the community, especially seeing how these streams culminate in people congregating at BlizzCon to watch it live.
This has been another awesome episode of FrazlCast. Take it away, Frazzlepants.
Thank you, Scruffy. So I like to shout out people who give feedback on this show. Has any interaction from you means someone is listening, and it means a lot. Shout out to Dracoris, who replied to Dungeon Fables' retweet of episode 142, and they said, "That joke from Brandon was incredible. I am in awe at his delivery." And I said that it took me by surprise. And Dracoris replied, "Me too. I was expecting some serious, interesting trivia nugget, and then the penny dropped. Spectacular." Shout out to Professor Talib of the Half-Hour Report, who said, "Excellent podcast. Most enjoyable." This was in reply to a tweet about episode 142 with Brandon. And a shout out to Uncle Will on YouTube, who said, "Dope rhyming, yo," and gave me a fist bump. And this was in regards to the "Yo, I'm Fraz" rap at the end of 142. And shout out to Jendon and Twitch chat, who said they listened to 142 the other day, and they said, "OMG, your rap was awesome." Had a good old giggle at that. So good. Oh, thank you, Jendon. I love when I make people laugh. Twitch is a lot of fun for me each week. Getting chats like what Jendon posted, I'm always trying to find a way to raise the bar. So I've got new Frazzle rewards from controlling my lights, a sequel to a short film I made, and I'm also going to be having it where I will wear a hat, and I have one that will be getting a picture put on my person. Yes, a permanent picture on my person. And like I was saying, I'm right about raising the bar. I am redoing my streaming setup, and I have a standing desk for it coming soon. I want the extra energy from standing, and maybe even be able to dance a little bit. And I'm in the process of revamping the set that I use to allow it to be taller when this desk comes. I've been using a card table for these podcasts and these streams, and one of the corners is starting to break. So, I've had this card table for years. I even remember playing the original Xbox with this card table. Back when it first came out, too. Not just an old Xbox I found somewhere. And I'll also be adding a dance break FrazleDazzle reward when this desk is installed, so you can have me dance and do different things. So we're going to have a fun time. And even with the Blizzard YouTube streaming news, I'm sticking with Twitch. They've been great for me, and your support of me there and watching and interacting, and your Twitch subs and bits means a lot. And thank you to my Twitch subs out there. Thank you to Ali of Dungeon Fables, Burkhart, Capo, Crunk, Gia, Harlow, Lance Blizz Gamer, Michael of the Genome Project, Nihar, Pete of Project Phoenix Productions, Razarus, Savvy the Nerd, Scissorlord, Telenroid, Thorn of Lagging Balls, and Zorts the Goblin. And thank you to Kappa for the bits this week. If you want to support the show financially, please go to support.gnomepodcast.com. And if you have Twitch Prime through Amazon Prime, you can use your free Twitch Prime subscription on my channel. Any Twitch subs gets emotes and different things, as well as ad-free viewing of all my streams. All of your support goes helping support this labor of love. Thank you so much. Well, I am Frazley, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. There you can catch past episodes and find out many of the places where you can subscribe to this show. Until next week, be awesome.
Word up. 2020, yo. And the OG, N-O-M-E, is here to spill some tea. Spread some cheese. Yeah, boy. His name is Frazley, and he's here to stay. He's the hardest working gnome in As today. Azeroth, that is. World of Warcraft is the game, yo. 50 shows a week, or so it seems, getting his grind with podcast streams. The hardest working gnome with a microphone, his palms represent when he drops his tongue smoke. Yeah, that ain't no joke. No. Twitch is the platform of his choice. When he starts to stream, the fans rejoice. Running through missions while he chats us up, praying to a loon invincible would drop. Maybe one day, but not today, gnome. Check him out when you got a chance. Smiles all around and maybe a dance. Oh, please God and baby Yoda. No more Twitch sings, Frazley. Gnome.live is the place to be, so come and hang with Mr. Frazley. Word up. Peace out, yo.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard Games, and they are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended. This show is for the community, and it contains contributions from the community. The Gnome Train Intro is by Allie of Dungeon Fables and All Things Azeroth. The opening music is by Brandon T. Blaylock. The Gnome Roar is by Jen of Morally Grey Podcast, and the Frazzlepants bumper at the end is by the Scruffy Druid of Loot Optional and Viral Voice Arts.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.
It's been fun. Farewell!